I'm Mitchell, and today I'm going to teach you how to French braid. You'll only need a few materials, only 4, so let me show you what those are. You're going to need some type of hair tie, depending on the thickness or the amount of hair you're braiding. You might just need an elastic, a smaller hair tie, or a thick band to hold the braid. Next, you're going to need some bobby pins or pins of some kind to pin back the stray hairs or bumps in your braid. Next, you'll need some type of comb to separate your hair into sections, and a brush to make sure that your hair is tangle-free when you start your braid. Alright, now it's time to actually start braiding, and your first decision to make is whether you want to start your braid at the crown of your head and have your whole hair braided, or start lower and have a lower French braid. So for today, I think I'm going to braid Sarah's hair at the crown, and so you get the maximum amount of braid. First step is to make sure that your hair is tangle-free, so you want to run a brush or a comb through it real quick and just get all the knots out. Okay, and then the next step is you want to start with the very top section of your hair, right around your hairline, and you grab about an inch or so from your bang. And if you have bangs, you might want to keep your bangs out of the braid. They're a little hard because they're shorter than the rest of your hair. So then you have this 2-inch section of hair, and you want to section it off into 3 sections like a normal braid. So I just split with my fingers, but you can use a comb if you need. And pull each, you want 3 sections, and you want to have them separated in your hands. So I keep 2 sections in one hand and the last one in another. Okay, and then you first start a French braid. A lot of people think it's really complicated, but really it's just like a normal braid. You start with the right section, and you cross it over on top of the middle section, and then you take your left section and cross it over the middle again. And it's really important for a French braid to keep all of your sections pulled tightly as you move down, so your braid comes out just the way you want it to. Okay, and this is where the French braid is different from a regular braid. As you French braid, you need to grab extra sections of hair as you move down your head. So I'm going to take my right section and grab a couple more inches from Sarah's hairline and cross it over the middle, making sure that all the hairs are in place and there's no bumps. And then you do the exact same thing on your left side. So you grab a couple more inches from the left and you cross it over the middle. Okay, make sure you're keeping your sections really tight. And you just repeat the process until you get to the end of your hair, and it's really, really simple. It's pretty much just like a normal braid. And keeping your sections really tight when you pull them together. And it'll turn out really well. I've reached the end of the hair as Sarah's scalp, and so all that's left is this bottom piece. And when you get down to here, you would just do like a normal braid. So you crisscross across the middle, left and right, until you reach her ends. So it's really simple, really quick. This part of it is, at least. And then you get down to a place where you need to tie off the braid. And you want to make sure that you pick the right kind of tie to make sure the braid is nice and tight and it'll stay for a while. So since Sarah's hair is like medium thickness, I'll probably end up using I won't really go with an elastic because it is a larger braid. So I want to make sure that it stays in. So you just wrap the hair tie, whatever one you pick, around the bottom of the braid, making sure it's nice and tight. And your braid should stay for at least a day, if not more. Okay, and that's French braid. And then you can see that there's a couple flyaways, some little bumps around, so that's when you come in and you use your bobby pins to pin them back. I'll just pin this up, and you want to do your best to hide the pins so they're not too noticeable. Try to find ones that are your hair color. Those would be the best. They're less noticeable in your hair. Okay. So that's how you French braid. So there's many ways to style a French braid, and I'm just going to show you a few quick examples. This one is a really popular, it's a side braid along the hairline and into like a messy bun on this side. So the first step is to part the hair where you want the braid to start. So I'm going to start right off center a little bit. So that's good. And then it's exactly the same French braid as you did in the back. You take a couple inches from the very start of the part and section that off into 3 different sections. I use my fingers. You can use a comb if you want it to be more exact. And then you start with the 3 sections. You take the right, you crossed over the middle, and then take the left and crossed over the middle again. And then you continue grabbing more hair as you go. And this one, it's important to grab hair like in the region, like just in the front. Don't grab anything from the back because then it'll make your braid off center and your hair might be a little pulled. So when you get to the point where you're past the ear, you still continue grabbing hair on both sides. And you just have to be careful where you grab it from. And you want to swing the braid all the way across the bottom hairline and to the side. So it's kind of like a diagonal braid, but it's really not as tough as it sounds. You just keep grabbing hair from left and right and crossing them over the middle. Make sure that your sections don't get tangled because you're going to end up with a knot at the end. And then you just continue to bring it around and making your braid nice and tight against Sarah's scalp. Reach the point where your braid ends and you're right by the opposite side ear. You're going to want to tie the braid off in some sort of way. So you can either continue your braid down to the ends and tie it off there, or you can end your braid here and make it a side pony, or you could put it into a bun. So it's all up to you. Sarah said she'd like a bun, so you just tie it into a messy bun or wherever you'd like. And I might end up pinning this bun back. Pick an appropriate hair tie as well, just like the braid before, making sure it's tight. And pin back all your loose ends or your bun so it looks nice from the front, making sure you hide most of your pins. That's all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed watching and that you try out your new French braid skills. Thanks.
The streets outside are glistening. I found I'm barely listening as you try to smile.